All right, I just wanted to make a video about DrDisRespect and Twitch. I've been kind of tweeting out stuff about this. So I know that, well, for one, I know that a lot of things that I say might not be anything new to a lot of people, but also I think that, you know, maybe I do have some unique insight to it or perspective on it. Yeah, let's just get into it. So, also, if I do say something that's ignorant, I haven't really looked at everything about it, but I can just, you know, mostly I'm just make a video speculating from what my understanding. So, you know, there's so many reasons why you can get banned, and, you know, you have to read the terms of use and all this, and Twitch has certain regulations and all, and, you know, like I said, I'm not saying anything new, but what I'm trying to get at with really saying that is they aren't really like, streaming on Twitch isn't really like a Hollywood set. You know, Twitch doesn't really see their platform as a Hollywood set. You know, on a Hollywood set, you can do anything. You can act as a KKK member. You know, you can act as someone killing another person. You know, you can do violence, and it's preferred to do violence or things like that just to entertain people, you know, and, you know, in, you know, forms of mature content or not. You know, there are different, you know, things that, you know, so it's, I don't know, it's weird because, you know, you can flag your stuffs for mature content, so when people come on, they're you know, warned that it's mature content. Okay, I don't really know what the deal is with, you know, if he was mature content or not, but when I really think about Twitch, they don't really give you freedom, and it's not really like when a person when a direct, see that it's pretty easy to understand what I'm getting at. You know, they don't really have like acting rights. Now you can take this, and I kind of did take it, and I was just kind of messing around, and because I'm an actor too, and I do a lot of things. But so you can take this to that extreme where you're basically looking at Twitch like, well, you're not giving people equal acting rights, and you're not giving people, you know, you're not letting people be free. You're not letting people, you know, have free artistic expression and all this shit. And you can say that, and you can take it to that extreme. You can be fucking pissed off. You could rant online. You can try to change them. You could try to tell them this, but they're just, the thing is they have people operating this fucking massive thing we call Twitch, and it's a corporation, just like a lot of things like Microsoft and, you know, all these social media, you know, Twitter, whatever, they all operate on their own terms. And like Twitter is, you know, there's so many people online that it can be hard to regulate it all. And I think some of the time they only kind of catch what is surfacing, but they have developed, you know, automatic ways to pretty much filter out all the shit, you know, through programming or whatever they're doing. There's a lot of different things that they do on that, but if you think about, you know, DrDisRespect as an actor, he should be able to do whatever he wants as an actor. You know what I'm saying? And this is where it comes into Twitch being Twitch, and, you know, an actor being an actor. Because really, as an actor, you should be able to do whatever you want. You know, when you need to act, you need to act as characters that aren't really nice. That, you know what I'm saying? People act as some really terrible characters, some really fucked up things. And whenever you try to be an actor on Twitch isn't really aligned with that. They don't really operate in that sense. They're not going to let you act as whatever you want. They're not going to let you do whatever they want. They have regulations on it. It's really, and it really kind of doesn't make sense in a way, because they're trying, for one, they're trying to control content to kids. These gamer, okay, I'm not going to really say, oh yeah, all the gamer kids are just pieces of shit and they're just brats and all this. But if you go and you game, you know that a lot of people can be really terrible people, and a lot of the gamers and stuff, especially not even just gamers, but a lot of people in general can be really terrible people. So when you think about, oh, they're controlling content for these people that are just terrible people, and that's not saying all of them are terrible people, because some of them are really nice and they get it, and some of them can be sensitive, they can be vulnerable to things you say and things you do, and they, you know, whatever. But it doesn't kind of really make sense to where you're shooting someone in the head on a video game, you're shooting people on a video game, you're doing all these acts of violence on a video game, you're doing all this stuff on a video game, but yet you can't reenact it yourself. You can't have artistic actor expression to do things like that in an acting sense on Twitch. And it kind of doesn't really make sense at all. You know what I'm saying? If you were to try to be an actual actor on Twitch, it doesn't. And that's why I think, you know, when you try to do that, you try to be an actor on a platform through a service, through a corporation. They're essentially a production studio, and they're trying to, there's a whole thing with keeping people safe and all this. I get it, but it kind of doesn't make sense. Like, I don't really get the point. If someone's like breaking a keyboard or breaking something on a stream, and you say, oh, well, we don't want people to do that because it's unsafe, and, you know, people reenact it. It's like, okay, so, but you're playing video games where people are shooting each other. It just doesn't really make sense, but they don't reenact that. I mean, just because one person does some violent crime, and they played video games. How many people play video games? How many people have the same music? How many people do this and that? And, that's a whole controversial thing too. But I know that a lot of people would agree that, you can't just say just because someone played a fucking video game that they went and reenacted it or whatever. So it doesn't really make sense that you wouldn't let an actor do what they want. So, and that's kind of, that sounds pretty terrible, right? When you say, oh yeah, you're controlling content, you're keeping people safe on a fucking online community, but they're really just terrible people anyway. I mean, that sounds pretty bad, right? But it's kind of true. And whether you want to accept that or not, that's up to you. You know what I'm saying? And, sometimes whenever you get involved in entertainment, and it can be funny or whatever kind of entertainment life is life, and life can be more serious than here's the thing. Life can be very serious, and people can make things into a joke, and people can take things the wrong way. People can take things personal. People can act in a way that they're just mentally ill, you know what I'm saying? And so, but on the other side of it, it's like, well, damn, you're making it into a big deal. It's a big deal. People are trying to have fun. They're not here to think about that. They're just here to have fun. It's as simple as that. It doesn't really matter what you're doing. As long as they like the person and what they're doing, it doesn't really matter. I mean, and that's another thing too. It's just like, I get what's going on. I get, they do have to maintain their integrity, as a platform, as a service. And I'm not an expert. I don't know everything, but it's right in front of your face. You know what I mean? And some of the people that are operating Twitch, you can't tell them what to do, man. You can't tell them, well, you need to let people act like they're on a Hollywood set, and you need to be able to produce professional entertainment. I almost see it as Twitch being an amateur in a lot of ways. But I know that YouTube has regulations too. But if you look at YouTube and you look at even Facebook, all of them, if you look at YouTube and their content control and what they let you say and all this, so they have movies on YouTube, right? So they're supporting violent stuff and all this stuff. They're supporting, but it's natural for you to support, or to be. Violence is just a part of content. Now, violence, it can be a natural part of life, a part of survival, a part of, defending yourself, a part of life. It's not like, oh yeah, violence is condemned. Violence is bad. Violence is evil, because violence is just a part of life, But that, on the other hand, it can be evil, and it can be something that people that are, mentally ill can kind of be very violent and do things that are just disgusting and just really, not really in line with the community integrity and all this, but when you really think about that, so YouTube is supporting violent content, and it's done, but see, it's done in a professional way. So it's like, okay, well, the content is professional, you know what I'm saying? And the way that It's done on a Hollywood set. It's done in a way that people are like, oh, this is a movie. These are actors. This isn't real. But, you know, that's the talent in making it seem real. So that's the thing where it's like, okay, well, you're supporting this, but this guy over here, here's the thing. But so you're supporting these movies. People can do whatever they want in the movies. But a guy can't come up on YouTube and act whatever he wants to do, despite your opinion on what he's doing. And you say, oh, he's abusive. Oh, he's sexually assaulting people. And that's a matter. Okay, is he acting, or is he actually going out in the community? Is he actually doing this? Is he actually, you know? And that's the thing, though. Whenever you're an actor and you're saying things to people online and stuff, it can kind of, when you're in character, see, you can kind of do things or say things to people. And I'm not an expert. I've never really actually been on an actual set, but I do know a little bit. Like, they do really intense things to get people into character, and they can obstruct the integrity of the people around them just because they're in character. You know what I'm saying? And so, but it's not like they're gonna like do some crazy shit and cut someone, you know, punch someone in the nose on set. But, you know, I'm just saying, or, you know, some kind of like extreme thing where it's like, okay, you're out of line. This is obviously not in line with the integrity of the community. But when it really comes down to it, it's like, okay, well, so you have all these Hollywood movies, but this guy can't come up and say, oh, I'm an actor. And you look at him, you're like, oh, he's a piece of shit. Look at what he's doing. He's dangerous. He's this. But he's he might not even say he's an actor, right? A random person, just on YouTube, whatever. But you could say, oh, well, he's out of line. We're gonna ban him and block him and all this stuff because of what he's saying, all this. And even if he didn't, but even if he said he's an actor, if a person says they're an actor and they're not from some production studio, you're still going to be like, no, I'm going to ban you just because my opinion is you're dangerous. That's bullshit. That basically says that Hollywood is controlling the content people are making by making these filters, these things where, you know, they get to determine who is in these movies, who makes all the money. And to really put it in that way, like, I'm not saying it's a conspiracy that the social media platforms are controlling us, so Hollywood is to be able to produce all the content that makes all the money as far as, you know, real actual acting characters go. But I'm just trying to say that could be a possibility. But what I'm really trying to say is it's almost like it's happening in a way where it's a catch-22 where you don't really see it, but it's happening. Okay, so how is a person supposed to be on the come up and do whatever they want without being judged, and for the person to just to see the actor? Because sometimes when you're acting as things, something that's ugly, or someone that's, you know, something that's unforgivable, you know, something that a person that's just really fucked up and did terrible things or whatever, you're doing it in a way because it's an art, it's a craft, you know. And I think some people, they don't really understand what acting is, and you think it's all bad and all this, but acting can show you a lot of things about life. And when you watch someone do these things, that's how you learn. That's how you learn that you learn about morality by watching a movie, man. You learn about life by watching people do these ugly things. So it doesn't really, and that's another thing. So how are you supposed to be on the come up? And another thing, when you say you're an actor, when you sit there and you're like, you have to tell people, oh, I'm an actor, and maybe you don't, like, I've had this experience, like, dude, I'm acting, like, I'm trying to tell you I'm acting, like, this isn't real, but it's like, I shouldn't have to tell you that, because I got sick of it. It's like, I shouldn't have to tell you I'm an actor. I shouldn't have to be in a Hollywood set to be like acting and doing what I want, and people come over here and just criticize the fuck out of me with just being ignorant to the fucking culture. And that's part of the problem, is we've moved into this sort of futuristic sort of online communities and all this stuff where you have so many controversial things. And see, that's one of the issues that we face, is the whole Hollywood acting and independent acting, and where it's necessary and where people can do it and be accepted. And that's something that's happening right now, that it's pushing, like it's starting to become more and more apparent, because I ranted the fuck out about this, because it's like you can take it to that extreme where you're like, dude, Twitch is just not providing people with equal acting rights as far as being an entertainment professional. And you know, but you have to look at Twitch and be like, okay, well, they have a form of entertainment. They're not producing Hollywood movies, so it's really kind of a different sort of entertainment, but that's what their choice. That's the content, that's the sort of, it's not a Hollywood movie, you know, it's not a, you know, do everything you want, but there are limitations, there are terms, and that's how they choose to operate. And if you really look at that, that comes from kind of you know, it comes from a sort of the thing of their belief of morality, their belief of integrity, and how they choose to operate, and how they want to be seen in the public image, and what they believe, you know. And that's kind of the thing too, is whenever I look at it, it's like, oh yeah, well, this is what I believe. But when you really look at that, and if I were to sit down and to say this to the entire Twitch, you know, everybody that's like the top people at Twitch that are calling shots and stuff, if I were to explain this to them, what would they say to me? I'm just curious, what would you say to that? Because I mean, I think the only thing you could really say is, we, you know, this is we're trying to create a safe community, and this is the content that, you know, we're endorsing, and the content that we're creating, and the content that we believe we should support. That's all they could really say, you know. And it doesn't mean anyone's right or wrong. Now, there are different extremes of things that people can do that can get them banned or whatever. And yeah, and you know, you have to take responsibility that you have to be aware of that and all this. And but here's another thing, is it makes me almost not even want to stream anymore, because it's like, damn, you know, as an actor, see, as a streamer, and just a real person, and you know, you could, you know, there are a lot of good people out there, and you could probably, you know, be successful with not doing anything that's really sort of doing like an acting sort of thing, role, where you can go in all different directions that people won't really approve of. And that's kind of the thing. I think it's going to change, and I am kind of upset about it, but what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to take it to that extreme to where I'm like, oh, fuck you, Twitch, you're fucking this and you fucking that, you fucking, like, I can't really blame Twitch for some of these things. And you know, I think, and here's the thing is, I think personally that DrDisRespect got banned for sexual harassment, because, you know, whenever he does the whole licking thing, and I haven't seen, like I said, I haven't really looked at all the stuff. I don't really watch him all that much, but I've seen him, you know, I've watched him, and he does the thing where he's like, I can taste you. I don't really know, but I think that, you know, I think that no matter really what the real reason is, it's probably because he was acting, and they weren't able to really, see, that's the thing, that's kind of a catch-22, is when you're acting, but you break terms, but you're acting, so you're not you. See, it doesn't make sense. That's where it kind of contradicts itself, but it's like, well, that's how they want to operate. They want to operate in a sense that it doesn't make sense, but I guess it makes sense to them. So it's just like, you know, whatever. You know, I got to the point where I'm just like, okay, I almost feel like Twitch is living in the past, or Twitch isn't able to change. Twitch isn't able to admit that, you know, they're wrong, or maybe not even, but admit that they need to be able to evolve to let people do what they want. Because I think another platform is going to rise up that's going to be, you know, I really hope something, if Twitch isn't going to change, okay? So I hope that something else comes out and they are able to squash Twitch and liberate people from what Twitch has done. And I don't blame Twitch. I think that Twitch, you know, obviously I think that they're good people, and I think that they have good intentions and all this. And I don't even want to say they're wrong. I think they're just kind of, and I do know they have like they have consultants, they have people that are smart, you know, they're not stupid. So whenever you say these things, they do have responses, they do have things that, you know, they can respond with, and they, you know, they do have like professional people that look everything over, and they do have people, you know. So I mean, for me to come out here and try to like, oh yeah, he knows everything about this, and oh, we're gonna make a stand, freedom for actors, or you know, whatever, however you kind of want to put it like that. It's just like, well, I'm just some guy that's just kind of expressing himself, and it's not really, you know, I don't know, you know, it's like I don't even want to, like, I don't even care anymore. And I don't want to sit here and be like, oh, fuck you, Twitch, oh, blah, 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 blah. Because it's like, it doesn't even matter, man. You know? And it sucks, you know, because a lot of people on there, they follow the terms, and, you know, it's like they're working for a job. I feel like you're not really letting people live their dreams. You know, you're not letting people be who they really want. And I think and that's another thing where, and it gets really technical, and it gets really kind of complicated with freedom of speech and the controversy surrounding that. And, you know, one thing's for sure though, if you're watching this, what I got to say is you should be able to be stronger than other people, especially if they're mentally ill and they're trying to break you down, whatever. But if you're dealing with an actor, that can be a lot different, you know. And some people understand that, some people don't. And for an actor to be acting in a stream, that's kind of a new thing to the world, you know. As far as, you know, it's been around for a while. Streaming has been around for a little bit, but streaming is kind of new as far as popularity and sort of the form of entertainment. Because, you know, Hollywood has been, you know, producing movies, and you know, the music industry and all this has been, you know, been around longer than streaming. And it is a different form of entertainment. And I think that, you know, it's really just, I think it's going to come down to, I think it might come down to a split of two different opinions on what streaming could be. And I don't know, man, I'm just talking out my fucking ass, really. I'm just, you know, because you could say either way. You could say that, I don't know, man. It just doesn't make sense to me. And it almost feels like there's people living in the past. That's what I think. And people are so quick to be like, just judge people and throw them under the bus, and, you know, oh, they're hurting the community, whatever, ban them, block them. You know, like everything has to be perfect and all this. And it's like, dude, oh my God, are you serious? And I don't know, man. I mean, some things people do, you know, it is, you are just to criticize them or whatever, and to, you know, have your opinion on them, because sometimes people do things, yeah. But I mean, to sit there and like blame an actor for acting, no matter what a person does when they're acting, man. You know. But here's another thing, one more thing, because I know this is a long video now, is being a professional actor can be kind of a very difficult thing. Because whenever you're trying to act as someone, you can act as someone that's cocky. You can act as someone that's in a completely different state of mind. And that's the kind of the thing about the character of DrDisRespect, the demand for that character. And when you're going in that character that much, you know, it's like, it's like, when as a pro, and I'm not saying he's an amateur or anything. I'm just saying, like, that's can be a thing with acting, is because you have to find a balance between who you actually are, what you're going to say in the real world, what you're going to do in the real world, and this character that you're fucking playing who isn't you. But it feels, because acting can be a thing where it's an outlet and it can empower you to feel good, just like music and a lot of different other things. Because whenever a rapper gets on the mic, they, you know, for example, they can empower themselves and they empower other people. And that's part of the thing I think with DrDisRespect would do, is he would empower other people. And okay, he's hilarious too. I remember first time I seen him, I was like, oh my God, dude. I think I was in tears just laughing. It was just hilarious. Anyways, that's pretty much all I gotta really say on it. I don't really know, you know, I almost don't even want to have a standpoint on it, but I'm to the point where I don't want to be on Twitch because of it, and because of I just feel like, you know, they're fascists, They're not willing to change. They operate in a way that I don't approve of and I don't like. And I think that, you know, they're not letting people be who they are. It's a contradiction and it doesn't even make sense. And you know, I just wish there was a better alternative where people could be free, and everything's becoming so cut and dry, and everything's being controlled so fucking, you know, it's so you're so limited. You're getting more and more limited as, you know, as things happen. And serious things do happen, though. That's the thing. Serious things do happen, and that's the reason why, you know, they do take it seriously. So with that being said, I mean, I guess I'm really split on it. I don't really know what to see, because I can see a lot of different angles of it. And, you know, I know that I want what's best for people, and I don't want to be a part of that, you know, whole toxic bullshit that can go around, especially in gaming. And I'm finna wrap it up here, but because I've been a gamer all my life, and I know how people are in games. You know, in streams and in real games, people can be pretty vicious. They can be pretty fucked up, and they can say some pretty fucked up things to you in game. And not even that, just online, you know. And it's just like you're trying to control people that are just... Anyways, that's all I gotta say.